You're at work, and it just kind of hits you. If you didn't show up tomorrow, just stopped coming. They'd have someone in your spot within a week. Your name would come up maybe twice, and then it'd be like you were never there, and you're supposed to be loyal to that. That moment where you realized how replaceable you are and how much they expect you to pretend you're not, that's what this is about. So you do your job and you leave. You don't stay late. You don't take on work that isn't yours. You don't volunteer for the thing nobody else wants to do just to prove you care. Someone asks if you're passionate about the work and you say the right words, but internally you're just doing the math on what your time is actually worth. There's actually a name for the moment that changed in you. This is what psychologists call psychological contract breach. Every job runs on an unspoken deal. You give loyalty, they give security, but the second that deal breaks, you watch someone who gave years get cut without a conversation, or you survive a round of cuts that took out the person who worked the hardest. Your brain rewrites the rules. The job stops being a community and starts being an arrangement. And once that switch flips, it doesn't flip back. You still show up, still do good work, stay professional. But when your boss says we're like a family here, you hear it differently now. You hear we want you to work like you can't be replaced, even though we'd replace you in a heartbeat. And the weird part is what it actually costs you, because from the outside, you look like you've got it figured out. Not stressing about getting ahead, not losing sleep over changes you can't control. Nobody sees is the performance you're running all day. Nodding along when they talk about company culture, saying happy to help when you feel nothing, laughing at the team building stuff like it isn't insulting. 8 hours a day running a version of yourself that doesn't exist. That exhaustion has a name: ego depletion through emotional labor. Faking an emotion you don't feel burns through cognitive energy at a rate your brain treats as real work. You're not tired at the end of the day from the job itself. You're tired from 8 hours of pretending you care about a place that would forget your name in a month. And that performance doesn't just drain you at work. You get home and someone asks how your day was, and you say fine. Not because anything went wrong, because keeping the mask on for 8 hours left you with nothing. You spent all day protecting your peace and showed up to your actual life completely empty. The work itself wasn't even hard. So you've got someone who knows the deal is fake, performs the role anyway, does their hours, and shows up at home too, hollow to enjoy the freedom they fought for. None of that happened by accident. But here's the part most people skip. Not everyone ended up here the same way, and that's where it split. Some people stopped being loyal because they got burned. They were the ones who stayed late, covered for everyone, gave more than they were paid for, and then they watched someone who'd been there for years get let go on a random Tuesday with nothing to show for it. Their brain took note. So now they don't give extra. Not because they can't, but because they already saw what extra buys you. Other people were never wired for it in the first place. They've always looked at a job the way you'd look at a utility bill. It funds the life. It's not the life. No bad boss story. No betrayal moment. They just naturally separate what they do for money from who they actually are. For them, this isn't protection. It's just default. Both versions are real, but one of them is guarding something. And that one might be worth sitting with a little longer, in the same instinct that keeps you detached at work. It doesn't always stay there. I'll be honest, sometimes the wall you built to protect yourself becomes the thing that keeps everything out. You stop getting close to anyone you work with, even the ones who might have actually been worth knowing. You treat every new boss like the last one who let you down. The armor works, it just doesn't know when to come off. There's a concept for this. It's called identity enmeshment prevention. Your brain refuses to attach your sense of self to anything that could be taken away without notice. It's a smart play. It's the reason you won't fall apart if they let you go tomorrow. But the trade-off is a low-grade distance that follows you around, a quiet numbness that sits underneath everything during working hours. Knowing that doesn't fix it, but it does explain why you can feel completely sure about your decision to stop caring and still feel like something's missing at the same time. That version of you who shows up every day knowing they'd fill your spot in a week, you're not pretending anymore. You just stopped performing for an audience that was never going to clap. You didn't stop being loyal. You just stopped leaving your identity as collateral in someone else's business. If you've ever wondered why you can't stop mentally planning your exit, even when nothing's wrong, that's its own rabbit hole. Subscribe if you want it next.